Islam, the religion of truth. In the name of Allah, and praise be to Allah. Islam is regarded as one of the greatest religions known throughout history, and one of the most influential in the lives of humanity and their civilizations. It is the religion of monotheism that came to bring people out from the worship of idols and desires to the worship of Allah alone, without partner, and to establish upon the earth the meanings of justice, mercy, equality, and noble morals. Islam was not merely a spiritual call, but rather a comprehensive way of life for the human being, organizing his relationship with his Lord, his relationship with himself, his relationship with people, and his relationship with the universe around him. Islam appeared in the Arabian Peninsula in the 7th century CE through the Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah, who was born in Mecca and grew up there, known among his people for truthfulness and trustworthiness. Before Islam, Mecca was an important religious and commercial center visited by people from all parts of the peninsula, yet it lived in a disturbed religious and social reality. Idols were worshipped besides Allah, tribal fanaticism dominated relations among people, the weak were oppressed, the poor neglected, and women in many cases were deprived of their rights and dignity. Then Islam came with a new and profound message, beginning with the foundation of belief itself, which is that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. This belief was not merely words spoken by the tongue, but rather a great transformation in the human being's view of life. In Islam, the human being is an honored creation possessing intellect, responsibility, and dignity, and is not a servant to stone, to humans, to wealth, or to power. The Islamic call began in Mecca by calling people to monotheism and purifying the heart from polytheism, oppression, and arrogance. The Prophet Muhammad and his companions faced severe harm from Quraysh because this call threatened the interests of many who benefited from the existing order. Nevertheless, the Prophet and his companions remained patient and steadfast upon their call because it was a call of truth and reform. Then came the migration to Medina, which became a major turning point in the history of Islam. In Medina, the Muslims began building a new society founded upon faith, brotherhood, order, and justice. The Prophet established brotherhood between the Muhajirun and the Ansar, laid the foundations of coexistence among the inhabitants of Medina, and organized relations between Muslims and others, thus the features of the first Islamic state emerged. Islam relies upon the Noble Quran, which Muslims believe to be the word of Allah revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, and it is a book of guidance, mercy, and legislation. The Quran called for reflection, knowledge, justice, patience, and benevolence, and prohibited oppression, corruption, arrogance, and aggression. Alongside the Quran comes the prophetic Sunnah, which includes the sayings, actions, and approvals of the Prophet, representing the practical application of the meanings of Islam in life. Among the most important things brought by Islam is that it connected faith with morals. Worship has no value if it does not change the behavior of the human being, and religiosity has no meaning if it does not appear in truthfulness, mercy, trustworthiness, and good treatment. The true Muslim is the one who is beneficial to others, merciful toward people, just in judgment, humble in conduct, and eager toward goodness and reform. Among the 5 pillars of Islam are the 2 testimonies of faith, prayer, almsgiving, fasting, and pilgrimage for whoever is able to undertake it. These pillars are not merely formal rituals, but rather a school for nurturing the soul. Prayer teaches the human being discipline, humility, and connection with Allah. Almsgiving nurtures mercy and awareness of the poor. Fasting strengthens willpower, patience, and self-observation. Pilgrimage demonstrates the meaning of equality among people when they gather from different races, languages, and lands in one clothing and toward one direction. Islam also granted knowledge a high status. The very first revelation from the Quran was a call to reading and knowledge. From this emerged within Islamic civilization a great love for science, research, and contemplation. Muslims excelled in many sciences, including medicine, astronomy, mathematics, chemistry, philosophy, literature, and history. Cities such as Baghdad, Damascus, Cairo, and Cordoba became centers of knowledge and civilization that influenced the entire world. Islam was not a religion confined to one people over another, but rather a universal message addressing the human being wherever he may be. In Islam, no Arab has superiority over a non-Arab except through piety and righteous deeds. This principle was a moral revolution in an age when lineage, tribes, and power determined a person's status. Islam came to declare that the value of a human being lies in his faith, morals, and deeds, not in his color, lineage, or wealth. Islam also paid great attention to the family, making it the foundation of a righteous society. It called for honoring parents, raising children well, and establishing affection and mercy between spouses. It also encouraged caring for the orphan, the poor, the weak, and the sick, and made working in the service of people among the greatest gates of goodness. Therefore, Islam does not view religiosity as isolation from life, but rather as an ethical presence within life and participation in reforming it. Islam later spread to vast regions of the world, reaching the Levant, Egypt, Iraq, Persia, North Africa, Andalusia, Central Asia, and Southeast Asia. Many peoples entered Islam because of the simplicity of its creed, the clarity of its principles, the justice of its legislation, and the nobility of its morals. Trade, preaching, and good conduct all contributed to spreading it among many nations. It is important to understand that the history of Muslims, like the history of every nation, contains great moments and major achievements, but also weakness, conflicts, and mistakes. Yet Islam as a message remains a call toward truth, justice, mercy, and reform. The issue does not lie in its lofty principles, but rather in how close or far people are from applying these principles in their reality. Thus it becomes clear that Islam is not merely a religion that appeared at a historical moment and then passed away, but rather a living message that has continued to influence the hearts, minds, and civilizations of people. It is a religion that calls for the worship of Allah, the cultivation of the earth, the purification of the soul, and the spreading of goodness among people. Whoever reflects upon its message finds that it combines spirit and intellect, faith and action, worship and morals. And in the end, I thank you for listening, and I hope that I have benefited you through this. And Allah is the granter of success.